What is going on? I'm ZMOT, full disco boost going on at the moment. We're going to jump back a sec, get into all the things. The tribes for the Life Leech Mega Crab have arrived, and they're fairly mediocre to say the least. Resource production, useful for low levels. Now, there was some weirdness with the tribes. I think it's fixed at this point, but Rifleman speed was Rifleman damage, and I think they've fixed up the titles of these things. If you're aware of other things going on with the tribes, please do let me know, but I think maybe they're fixed now. These things happened while I was out in the sunshine for Father's Day, first day of summer yesterday, so I'm a little bit out of touch at the moment. Warships is over. I managed to get both my accounts into Diamond and then park them. This one was a struggle. Wish I could show you my replays, but finally just bit the bullet, used bombardiers, and got into Diamond and then parked it as fast as I humanly possibly could. We are doing Forlorn Hope right now. Going to quickly show you my red line open because this red line open is so much fun. I really do enjoy this. See that flare? You got to wait till it hits the half mark and then you drop some smoke and then you drop bullet. That way the flare is expired when you drop your troops, but the flare gets bullet exactly where you want him. If you have suggestions of how to improve this, please do let me know because I am kind of just making this up. I think I've seen a couple people in our task force do it, but generally speaking, I'm just completely and utterly making this up. So then I'm throwing out 4 shocks. 4 shocks, probably too many shocks, but just being super duper cautious because I don't want to have to worry about those pixel perfect shocks. And then look at this, just bombardiers spread out wide. There's my pixel perfect shocks. You see, that's when I throw the pixel perfect ones, is when I only have to throw 2, not 3, and I have a little bit of time with that shock timer going down. And then look at this, just crushing all of the rocket launchers at the front. Then bullets still taunting things, and then we're gonna try our best to get some damage done to all of the boom cannons as well. Those critters probably not in the best spot. Managed to get rid of those 2 front left boom cannons though, which is going to help the next hitter. The next hitter has a lot of boom cannons and shock launcher and a ZMOT to deal with. So realistically, we're going to comfortably, hopefully do this in 4. Red line is typically, hopefully 3, but just to be on the safe side, we're going to say that's going to be probably 4 hits. Right about now, I am going to do some Hammerman goodness. I am also going to do some map clear goodness, just mixing some things in. Warships is over. Mega Crab isn't quite here yet. We've got those new troops coming, the shock bomb throwing dudes that I should know what they're called, but I don't off the top of my head. So I'm a little bit low on gold, so I probably can't get all of the Hammerman stages, but we'll just give it a shot to start with. Clear some trees. You used to be able to see which trees were cleared. Now we don't actually have any clue. Getting the Hammerman intels. Mondays, always good for intel. Thursdays, not quite so much. Stage 1, a bit of a joke for any max. Generally, I don't think I've ever failed before stage 5. But now that I've said that, we are basically guaranteed to fail on stage 4. So anyways, let me know which stage you usually get to, if you do it at all. There's no personal gain for doing this, really. I mean, sure, there's some prototype parts involved, but realistically most people spend more parts than they get for Hammerman, so the intel number is so good for your task force though. I mean, that's 7 intel. You're basically buying intel, spending your gold, which I would do in the shop. Hint hint, Miss Trader. I also am going to be suggesting some new trades to Supercell because I think we need to have some new trades. I think there's some people that would trade some trader tokens for some intel or for some powder, for example. There are a whole bunch of resources that I think max level players would trade for things like intel or powder. Like, I have a ridiculous amount of trader tokens. I would trade those. I have a ridiculous amount of shards. I have a ridiculous amount of... What are the other things I'm trying to think? Brain not working. Anyways, like for example, let's have a look at my weapon lab. Look at this, 1,200. If I could trade 100 of those for 10 powder, I would do it. Let me know what your thoughts on those sorts of trades are. I think that is a huge gap that Supercell has not looked at, and so I'm gonna propose it to them because it's in the game, no changes have to be made for them to implement that. And that's the kind of changes that I am looking to add to Supercell. So if you have other suggestions of troops that use existing mechanics, if you have other suggestions of trades or events, or the easiest thing for Supercell to change are things that all they need is a tiny, tiny tweak. For example, if you wanted a mech that shoots shocks, that they could do that. But if you wanted a mech that flies around and looks different and stuff, that's going to be more work, and it's unlikely to happen. So the people who keep suggesting all of these different changes for Boom Beach that are like new troops and new this and that, it's not going to happen anytime soon. So that's why I want to focus on getting things that will happen. So please hit me up in the comments if you have any sort of suggestions, because we just failed on stage... look at that, stage 6. Stage 5 didn't even, just breezed past it. So we're just going to drop a hot pot right in here. Always make sure you're doing a level 2, because that way you get to use it for 2 weeks, not just one. We're going to put it right about here, and then we're going to swap it right into there. We're going to move this boom cannon somewhere into contention so it's doing something useful. Then we'll fly through stage 6, hopefully, and if not, then I'll go attack something, because right about now, I am not in the mood to fail. This is a full win sort of move, or nothing. Win or just quit for now. I can always come back and do this later. So if we fail, I'm just going to bail on this, and we'll come back at a later date, which if we don't fail on this, it is going to be the best instance of a minefield doing magical things in the history of a minefield. Now, that minefield is very, very good, but I don't think it's quite there to get us through this one. So stage 6, we're not going to waste any more time on that. We can get more intel going out and attacking things. Also, got to find some diamonds there. Destroying all the NPCs. I destroy my NPCs as soon as they show up, or as soon as I have a second to clear them and I haven't missed them, because that's free intel right in there. There are fancy ways to destroy them, but I don't dwell in those kinds of things. A number of you have commented on that, but that is not for me. Anyways, moving on forwards, we are just going to use bombardiers and use them in the most ridiculous way possible, because we're full boosted. Should just be able to walk through this base without having to do a heck of a lot of work. So we're going to go like this. 1, 2, basically, we're just going to do red line. The red line open right here, but without 50 rocket launchers staring us right in the face. And then we're going to drop bullet right about there, because we don't want to have to deal with all the boom cannons shooting us directly in the face. So, Boom Beach, right about now, let me know where you ended up in warships, if you're playing warships, if you like warships, because right about now is only really relevant if you're playing warships. For the rest of the people who are not, then this is just another random day. Sure, we get new tribes, and those tribes aren't super duper awesome when it comes to the Life Leech Mega Crab, which I know a ton of you are super excited about. The Life Leech Mega Crab, I feel like, is probably the most popular Mega Crab, and which is kind of surprising. It is not my favorite, because you can basically play forever, like ever and ever and ever. So, I kind of like the hard crabs, but it seems like you guys really, really like the crabs where you can get to like stage 368 or something ridiculous like that, as our bombardiers just cruise through this. Now, we've already spent 1 minute and 20 seconds attacking, which just goes to show why I like to use warriors or Zookas to clear my map, because walking through things, although it's easy, it's incredibly slow. Let's bring out a boat or 8 of warriors and just see how long that takes in comparison as we pick up that free shards right there. Why I select shards, I don't know, because that is not the right answer for me, because I have way too many shards to start with, and now we're just going to go something like this. Brick first, all the warriors sneaking on in behind, and then we're going to walk over to this right-hand side. And if you're wondering why I'm walking over there, please do have a look at the core, because there is a microwaver sitting right about there. So we're going to go like this, then we're going to flare onto that right about there, throwing some critters out. Shock, just shocking. So many things. Down goes the core. 33 seconds with a sidewalk around the outside, and we still lost a total of I'm kind of impressed, actually. 0 warriors lost with a microwaver right next to the core. I'm guessing they had all offensive statues. Let's get some lolling happening. If it sounds like I'm cheerful today, it's because I am. Yesterday was Father's Day and the first day of summer, and my son's baseball team absolutely crushed it, and I am the assistant coach, so I have like a part of the winnings, and just watching the team win was so fantastic. Yeah, things are fantastic right now. School for the kids almost over, which means that I'm going to have a lot more kids hanging around the house all of a sudden, which when I work from home, that is not super duper awesome, but I'll take it just because it's all good, baby. Let's get those shocks out there. Should lose 0 troops yet again, even though Brick is back here. Shocks just kind of watching the gang. So do let me know what you think about the tribes right now. They are not super awesome. I mean, there was nothing in that list that I saw and went, oh, this is going to super help for the Mega Crab. Maybe that's on purpose. Let's boost this up simply because boosted rifles might as well, I guess. We're going to go like this. We will do 1 more rifle attack, and then I'm going to call this video done for dinner. Yes, I promise you I will get all stages of the Hammerman. I'm just not going to do it on this video because I don't want to waste your time watching me get frustrated. If you want tips on Hammerman, do let me know. I think we've got stage 7 up in here somewhere. I don't see a replay, so we are just going to go with all rifles. I love all rifles. I'm a little bit discombobulated here. Oh, by the way, do check my Twitter out. I know I was super duper unactive. I am good speaking. I am not super duper active on YouTube of late because I am just so ridiculously swamped, but I am doing my best to keep the Twitters as active as I possibly can, just to give a second way to stay in touch and to hit me up and all of those kinds of things. Also, just not really sure of when the heck to use the YouTube community versus Twitter. Let me know what you think about the community posts. I personally enjoy them, and obviously I have like 4 Twitter followers, but a whole lot of YouTube followers, so probably should not be using Twitter, but it is what it is. So let's just get all sorts of shocks out here. Those shocks were ridiculously early, but I think it's going to work out fairly well because we've got all sorts of riflemen. They don't seem to be moving terribly quickly, but maybe I am just feeling fast with the fingers, throwing those smokes out there. Let's do 1 more. They're supposed to be 50% faster. I just got a crystal out of the deal, but it doesn't feel like they're super duper quick. Hopefully we can go up the middle on it. There we go. That's exactly the base that I was after. Thank you, Bouquet McSquiggle. Let's see how fast these riflemen can head up that middle path, and let's just see what the heck we can do. So we're going to go like this, always dropping Brick first. Probably a little bit silly because we have... Oh, actually, yeah, they're moving. They're coming in fairly quickly. Not ridiculously fast, but I'll take it. So now we're going to go 1, 2, 3, and we're going to drop some critters over there and some med kits in there and a Brick and a battle orders, and I feel like troops spread way more when there's this tribal stuff. So I probably am crazy for thinking that, but nonetheless, Brick, battle orders, riflemen, down goes that base. So do consider giving all riflemen a shot, or rifle, cryo, bombardier, or medic, something like that. Lots and lots of good possibilities with riflemen. Possibly the most undervalued troop out there is the rifleman. I mean, they have more health than Zookas. They do a whole bunch of damage. They're like to spread out wide and do ridiculous things, but it works out fairly well for the most part. We're going to go right about there. We're going to completely and utterly ignore that laser because why the heck not? Then we're going to go 1, 2, something like that. See, look at that. Laser hitting us right square in the face, and the rifles just don't care at all. So Brick, battle orders, and at this point we're going to throw some critters back there, and then we'll just have Brick, and everyone's going to crush everything nearby. Probably a terrible idea, but it worked out fairly well, and we've got 114 gunboat energy left, all thanks to the ridiculously silly Rifleman. So anyways, that is all for me. It is June 21st. We are officially in summer in the Northern Hemisphere. I assume you're in winter in the Southern Hemisphere. Fairly all over the place video, but I'm okay with that. Let me know what you think in the comments. Otherwise, I shall talk to you soon. Thanks for coming in. I'm ZMOT. Peace.